It's Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Here we are. It's Saturday night. It's a little dark. Should I turn on another light? It's supposed to be after dark, right?
It's after dark. You don't have to turn it on.
I look a little like I look I don't know. I look dark and shiny at the same time. How's that possible? That's how explain that to me.
What's
Look dark
up, everybody?
and shiny at the same time. So
This mic here.
I am gonna turn on one light. Is that cool? Just one light. One more light. Hold on. So
Whatever makes you feel better, babe.
while I'm doing that, you can say whatever you want to say.
I was just gonna say hello, happy Saturday evening. Welcome to Have a Conversation After Dark. Oh, it's hot already. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun conversation, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
I'm
have fun
shiny
with it.
myself, man.
We're gonna have fun with it. Let's just put it that way. We're gonna have fun with this conversation. So
Ooh.
listen, if you're in here, shout yourself out. Let us know that you're watching live. If you happen to be watching the replay, you can shout yourself out and put hashtag replay in there as well. For those of you who are watching, do us a favor. Can you share it? Here's the reason why we want you to share it. The more people that get into this conversation, the better it is. The more opinions that are shared, the more people that agree, the more people that disagree. That's what makes this
for a better
conversation.
conversation.
That's
Yeah.
what makes this conversation great. Because here's what it is. We are not on here on Saturday nights to tell you what we think you should do.
Yeah, it's just for a conversation.
We're just on here to have conversation about things that we don't normally hear people having conversations about.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel like it's important that you, with your spouse, with your significant other, with your fiance, that you're having conversations too,
Mm-hmm.
because the conversations are important. So if you read the description, it's a crazy description. if you read the description says that you, uh, what did the description say? You have fond memories, fond infidelity memories. So, in a nutshell, you had an affair at some point in your life. You are back with your spouse. You are in reconciliation, or you have reconciled and you are moving on. However, if you're really being 100% honest, the affair that you had was enjoyable.
Isn't that
You
something?
had a great time.
Well, I mean, yeah, go
You were
ahead.
breaking backs and you were busting up headboards and you were swinging from chandeliers, and it was a fantastic time. So now that you're back with your
Tear up
spouse,
lampshade and rip up shade. What is it?
uh,
What's that reggae song? Never mind. Go ahead.
hey, Shine with Tish is here. What's
Hey
up, Tish?
Tish.
What's up? Listen, if you're not following her, make sure that you are following her. Uh, Plug for what Tish is doing tomorrow. My wife is on a panel with Tish. It's going to be outstanding. Make sure that you are
It's gonna be a
um,
good
following her as
conversation.
well. Right. So here we go. Right. The phenomenal. Listen, this was an outstanding affair, and I know what that sounds like, but I'm bigging it up so we can get somewhere. Right. So it's outstanding, but now you've reconciled with your spouse.
Now you've reconciled with your spouse. You have no. Can you hear me good?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You have no intention of going back to. No intention of engaging in infidelity anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're reconciled with your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You're here. You're like, that's it. It's done. I'm gonna stay with my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
However,
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 here's the however. Go ahead.
that affair, you enjoyed it and you have fond memories of it.
Mm-hmm.
You think back on it and you're like, man, I was having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in a situation like that?
Right.
What do you do? You know, you're like, yeah, this is wrong. I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to stick with my husband or with my wife. But I have fond memories of the affair. What do you do now? Like, if that was me,
Mm-hmm.
what do I do as far as our relationship goes?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make it work so that I don't? Because to me, if you look back with fond memories of an affair,
Mm-hmm.
then something is still not right.
Yeah.
You don't
So
think?
hold
Hold
that
that
thought for a
thought.
second.
Okay.
Hold that thought for a second. So
Getting ahead of you.
here's a question that's on the table. The question that is on the table is you have reconciled with your spouse, but you have very fond memories of your infidelity.
Yeah.
What do you do with those memories? How do you process them? How do you maybe get rid of them? Do you get rid of them? What happens when you now are and you're moving forward? Like let's be clear, you have no intention on doing this again. Like
Right.
you are neck deep in reconciliation.
But
You're building trust with your spouse. Things are moving in a good direction in terms of reconciliation, but you have great memories. Now here's the crazy thing: who does not have great memories?
yeah, that's true. Because
Does
if you
anybody have an
didn't,
affair and was like, that sucked?
well, maybe so. Maybe so, because an affair doesn't necessarily have to be for an extended amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you're unfaithful one night, that does that not constitute being an affair?
Uh, that's a great question.
Do you know what I mean?
So a one night stand, an affair is ongoing.
An affair is ongoing.
A one night and listen, hear me. We're making this up. Like don't I'm not quoting anything. I'm talking until people start getting in the comments.
Yeah.
An affair for me
Mhm.
is
Ongoing, like
ongoing.
a relationship outside of your marriage.
3, 6, 8, 12 months, a one night stand, although it is infidelity,
Is not an affair.
in my mind, is not an affair. I could be dead wrong.
Okay. I
But
don't
listen, I'm
know.
you people who come to these Saturday night things already know that I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So you don't really know what I believe because I'm gonna say all type of craziness. But that's what I gotta say for this right now. So I don't believe that anybody who's going through an affair and listen, talk to me. I don't know if nobody's. I don't know if anybody's gonna put themselves on Front Street. But if you're willing to put yourself on Front Street and you've been in an affair, I don't know that anybody looks back on an affair and it doesn't have fond memories.
Hey, Albie, welcome to the conversation. Did you see what Albie said?
What did Albie say?
Albie said to her, an affair could be
An
one
hour
hour or
or
one
1 year.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
thinking. Anything outside
Just for
infidelity.
infidelity, period, isn't an
Infidelity.
affair.
That's what I'm
Okay. Let's
thinking.
let's let's look it up real quick. Let's look it up real quick. Let me pull up something real quick.
That's what I'm thinking. Um, what was your question though again about it?
So my thing is, who
Who looks
doesn't
back?
right? Who doesn't have fond memories?
Right.
Right. A sexual relationship between two people, one or both of whom are married
Or in a
to
long
or in a long-term relationship with somebody else. So it doesn't even give a time frame.
It does say relationship though.
It does say
Do you
relationship
have a relationship with someone that a
in a
one
one
night
night stand.
stand? Right. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
that's a good
Anyway,
question.
the point is,
Albie said, but I do think a person may have cared about the person they had the affair with. I
I
do too.
agree.
Like I
Yeah.
don't. So here's the question. The question is, if we can establish the fact that you look back on an affair, or you look back on a one night, whatever you want to call it, and it was a good time. Now you're in reconciliation with your mate.
Hmm.
How do you navigate those thoughts? How do you manage those thoughts? What do you do with those thoughts?
I'm
Because they're
wondering.
gonna come back up.
I'm wondering if you just are like, yeah. My thing is, if you have those types of fond memories, those types of fond thoughts
Hmm.
about the affair, does that um affect your marital relationship?
Yeah, we're gonna come to that. That's a good question. That's a good question. So Albie said, even if they no longer want to be with them, even if they regret hurting their spouse, and even if they plan on never doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, and that's
Right.
what we said in the beginning, Albie. Like, we're talking about somebody who is neck deep in reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
They are providing assurance. They are building trust. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they are like, no, this is never going to happen again.
Yeah.
However, what they were involved in is Cinemax worthy,
Yeah. They
and
know
they were getting it in.
the only reason why they stopped, well, maybe not the only reason, but a huge reason as to why they stopped is because they know that morally it was wrong and they don't want to be that person anymore.
So let's for the folk who so while you're warming up to comment, and I love Albie jump right in there. That's dope. So while the folk who are watching are warming up to comment, let's bring it into our home, right?
Why I
So
gotta bring it into our home?
because let's have some fun, let's have some fun with this. So you were in an affair, and it was the time of your life.
Let's
I mean,
say,
he was like
let's. Mhm.
flipping you around like a baton, right? Now we're back together. We're back together. I'm an imagery guy, so we're back together now, and nothing about that except for the fact that it was wrong, except for the fact that it was morally wrong. Thanks for being here, Albie. We appreciate you. Albie says she's got to go.
Bye, LB.
So except for the fact that it was morally wrong,
Mm-hmm.
you had a fantastic time. You're back with me now. We are reconciling.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage that? You personally, what would you do?
I would just ignore whatever feelings, whatever fond memories or fond thoughts that I had. about the affair. I would just ignore it
It, is that going to work though?
because you're wondering how would that affect how I handle our relationship.
And yeah, because I'm kind of wondering, like now. So from my vantage point, I'm now wondering. I'm now let's keep it a buck. I'm playing the comparison game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm and you know everything that goes along with that, right? Playing the comparison game.
Yeah.
It is that affecting us? Number one. Number two, can you merely ignore it? Like, is it that simple?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Let me make it even more controversial. And I'm literally saying this for shock value because I don't. Let's the disclaimer is I don't believe that this is a conversation that's to take place. But having said that, is there any way without telling me to tell me to do something
Mm.
that helps to replace your memory? I
Say
kind
it
of I
again.
said that and
Yeah.
I went around. I was beating around the bush with that. Is there any way that you can, without actually coming right out and saying it, say to me, "Hey,
Do this like that person.
right."
I
So
mean,
now I become your point of reference. Is that wrong?
you wouldn't be my point of reference.
Well, I'm saying because you're trying to replace. So if you're trying to replace those thoughts,
Okay.
and he was, swinging you around like a baton, and I never swung you around like a baton. Is there a way that you can tell me to swing you around like a baton without saying, "Well, Jim swung me around like a baton, and if you do that, then I'll forget Jim"?
I don't think that would work.
You don't think so?
No, because that would make you feel some kind of way.
But what if I didn't know?
Oh, okay.
What if you were
You
just
didn't.
introducing things? Now, let
Mhm.
me be clear. If you introduce something new when we're in reconciliation,
You're gonna
the
be like,
very first thing I'm gonna think is, oh, so dude was like, oh, so
of
that's what he was doing. So
course.
he's banging her head up
Yeah.
against the wet headboard. So now I got to do
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I would be thinking that. I'm not even gonna front.
Yeah.
But does that help you replace the memories?
No, I don't think so. Because when you do that, I'm going to be probably thinking of him, I would imagine.
Man, it's tough, man.
Don't you
This a
think?
hard. This a hard one.
What do you think? Don't you
I,
think that
it,
if I tell you, yes, do this because this is what XYZ person did, this is what the affair person did, then I think that I would be thinking of the affair person. I think.
and
I
that's
don't know.
that's possible. But here's the thing: you would be thinking about him anyway because you got fond memories of him.
Yeah,
So it's a lose lose.
there's that.
That's so. Here's the thing: I have never heard anyone, and here's the reason why I'm bringing this up. We're bringing this up. I have never heard anyone address what happens to the memories in
I have
reconciliation.
never heard that
Never,
either. That's crazy, right?
never,
I've never heard that either.
and that is a very real thing
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going out on a limb. Nobody, except for the fact that they feel bad that they did something wrong, has been in an affair and was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So there are some memories.
Mm.
Donna, what's good? What's happening? Donna,
Hey,
if you just
Donna.
if you just coming in, Donna, here's what we're talking about. We're This conversation is a conversation we have never heard anyone have. And we've never I think only once have I had to address this in a session, but we never talk about this, right? So here's the thing. You have an affair. The affair is outside of the fact that it's not the right thing to do. It was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
You had the time of your life. But now you're neck deep in reconciliation. You and your spouse are banging out this reconciliation thing. I mean, you are the poster child for reconciliation. But you have fond memories of what you did.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that now as you're moving forward in your marital relationship? I've
Mm-hmm.
never heard anybody talk about
I
that.
haven't either.
And that's why we're bringing it to you because we want to hear what you guys have to say. How do you think, if you've never been in this, just speculate. how would you handle that?
You know what?
How would you want your spouse to handle
I think therapy would have to be involved.
it? Okay.
I'm just thinking therapy would have to be involved because even if I don't look back fondly at the affair relationship,
Hmm.
I think therapy would have to be involved because there's me trying to make sure that I am meeting your needs as far as making you feel secure now and
Hmm.
building trust and all of that.
Hmm.
I think therapy would need to be involved. Then there's you that would need to learn how to trust,
Hmm.
and forgive and all of that. So I just think that therapy might be the thing to help with that.
Okay. Let's see. Terrell, thanks for being here. You manage it because the affair wasn't love. It was a moment of lust. When you reconcile with the person that you're in a relationship with because it's love. I love sex is more different. It's much different and better than lust sex.
Yeah, but is it really always lust?
So, is it always lust? That's a good question. It
I wonder because I think it was Albie that said before that you have some kind of feelings
for the person.
for the person that you have the affair with.
So,
I think.
it may not so
I
much
don't
be
know.
love as much as it is that person's fulfilling a need. So when you talk about emotional needs, right, the person who typically fulfills your most important emotional needs, you begin to fall in love with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it may start out that way for some folk. For some folk, it just depends. Some folk, it is lust. They just want their cake and eat it too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For some folk, there is something missing,
Yeah.
and because there is something missing, they just happen to fall into the lap of somebody who fulfilled that, right?
I
But here's a question I have though. What Terrell said is that you manage it because the you manage it because it wasn't love, right?
mm-hmm.
Here's the thing: whether it was love or not, here's my question: what do you do with the memories?
I maybe it just depends on the person. Cause I honestly feel like I don't know, of course I don't know. But I just feel like I would just be like, it's a memory. I gotta move on. I can't dwell on it on the
Mhm.
memory. I just gotta move on. If
So,
if I'm trying to reconcile with you,
mhm.
dwelling on the memories is not going to help me reconcile with you. So
Okay,
I'm just gonna have to be like, you know what? Maybe these memories will fade after time. I cannot give that any energy. I got to just move on if I'm trying to reconcile with you.
I,
Because if I don't
mhm.
and I continue to entertain the memories, it might pull me back to that.
Okay.
Or it just may not make me be 100% committed to reconciliation.
Can you? So let me. I'm gonna read Donna's comment in a second. Can you reconcile? I mean, not reconcile. Here's a question: can you compartmentalize memories? Because what you're saying essentially is that I'm just going to forget
Compartmentalize.
to. I'm gonna forget to remember. Is it is is that possible? Like, can you do that? Let's see what Donna's saying. Donna said, Howard and I just dealt with this. Okay, we regret that. How we're dealing with this is learning to forgive. We had to
Mhm.
remember what brought us together, and now we're almost back at being in love. Okay,
Okay.
that's dope.
Yeah, that is dope.
That's dope. Listen, first of all, can I just say that I applaud you guys for doing that? Like, a lot of people, they don't even attempt to figure out how to come back from something like that,
Yeah,
right? So
for real.
that's dope. That is dope. We're
And thank you
cheering
for
you on.
sharing
Yeah, and
that
thank you
because you
for
didn't have
being
to.
yeah, thank you for being transparent. We
Transparent.
are you if there's no one else in the world, we are cheerleaders. Just know you have some cheerleaders over here that are cheering you on.
Just
That's
make
dope.
just make sure you don't neither one of you whisper. You know,
Yeah,
just
yeah. That's from Donna will get that one because she was here.
you got to keep things on the
Right.
up and up. No whispering, okay, Donna?
That's what's up. She said, Denise, you're right.
Mm,
I meant we are in love, almost back at one. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
It's great.
That's what's up. It depends on the person because I believe you just leave it there and you choose that person
Right.
that's not going to leave you on the side of the road when things get rough. And listen, I'm with everybody. Donna's laughing. I'm with everybody on this. The question that I still haven't, I don't feel like has been answered yet is what do you do with the memories?
Well, what would you do?
And that's I don't know.
That's what
I
I
don't
think
know.
that I would do.
So in reconciliation, I'm with Terrell. In reconciliation, obviously, I'm doing everything that I should be doing.
Yeah.
We're building trust. We're rebuilding trust.
Hmm.
We're putting in boundaries. We are establishing assurances. We are doing all of those things. I have chosen you. It is evident that I'm choosing you.
Yeah.
None of that erases the memory.
None of that erases the memory, but I think because I would think that because I am so wholeheartedly into the reconciliation,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe I don't have that much time
To dwell on it.
to dwell on the memories.
Okay.
Um, I'm thinking too that the part of our marital relationship that was broken,
Mm-hmm.
that even drove me to the affair in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we if I'm real intentional about fixing that part
Mm-hmm.
that even drove me to the affair in the first place, if I make sure that that is intact and that is healed, fixed, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
then those memories will not be as um potent. I don't
Okay.
know. Do you know what I mean?
We about to get it's about to get good right now.
Uh-oh.
It's about to get good in a second. Memory can go in a bucket. Bye bye. Okay,
I
so Donna's saying
agree.
you can compartmentalize. That's what you're saying
Yes,
too.
agree.
So let's get this. We're missing the big picture. Somebody said. So this is what I want to know. You got to help us out. What's the big picture? Somebody said, love the conversation, but your guys are missing the
Missing the
big
big
picture.
picture.
Now
What's the big
here
picture?
now I love that you said that because the whole point of these conversations on Saturday night is to get other people's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
reason why I keep saying what I'm saying over and over again is because I need somebody like you to come in and say what you're going to say. I have my thoughts. I haven't given them yet.
Mm,
I do. I have my thoughts. But the reason why I keep saying what happens to the memories is because nobody addresses what has to take place in order for total reconciliation to happen. All right? So keep that in mind. Just one question, we need you. Say
yeah.
give your opinion so we can put that in. My memories
Memories make
make me
me
want to
want to even more
interesting.
work it out with my husband.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Donna, because I playing devil's advocate, I would think the opposite.
No, not necessarily. If you are so committed and intentional and you're like there's no way that I'm going back to this affair, that doesn't erase the memories. But if you are that intentional and committed about reconciling with your spouse, then I agree with that.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily make, just because you're thinking about it, make you want to go back to it,
Got you.
in my opinion.
Okay. That's good. You can't erase the memories. You have to learn to not use those memories as a
As
comparison.
comparison. That's difficult. I would imagine that's
So,
difficult.
Katila, how do you do that? How do you do that, Katila? So if
Hmm.
if I well, I'm gonna use you. I'm gonna put you because we used you in the beginning, so we're gonna keep using you. So if Jim is just like taking you to the seventh heavens, how do you not use that memory as a comparison? Let's even take it even a step further. Let's say Jim is taking you to the seventh heavens, and I have only consistently up until this point
Taking me
taken you
to
to the
the
third
first.
heaven. Now what we doing? What we doing?
uh I think that there's, well, you said that that would automatically make you think, well, this is what Jim used to do. Cuz
If you're introducing something.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So think about that. We got to catch up on these comments. All right. Just one question is back. You have to address why the person cheated. The person can try to push the memories down, but if the relationship isn't fixed, eventually they will think about the
the
affair
affair.
again.
I think even if the relationship is fixed,
Hmm.
you haven't posted Katila's next comment yet, but
Hmm.
I think that even if the relationship is fixed,
Hmm.
I'm using that word loosely, there's going to be some things that will trigger a memory of the affair. I just really think that that would happen.
So let me ask you this, and then we'll get to these comments. Think about this as we get to these comments. Should then processing the memories out loud be a part of the reconciliation process? And I'm
Processing the
throwing that out.
memories.
Processing. So in reconciliation, because we're reconciling,
Hmm.
should part of that be putting the affair out on the table? Like
And me
here's what
me
was
talking about it
right.
with you.
Here's what was happening. Here's why it was happening. Because to speak to what just one question said, you have to address why it happened, right? So do we put everything on the table? Man, you know what? Listen, Jim was taking me to the seventh heaven,
Hmm.
and you was only taking me to the third. So I can't. I'm not saying it was right, but here we are.
I think if you're trying to reconcile with your spouse, part of that reconciliation would have to be considering their um considering them.
Hmm.
If you know that that's going to be hurtful for them to hear,
Hmm.
then no, as a part of reconciliation, I don't think that that would be something that would need to be discussed
Let's see. Let's see what the folks have to say.
unless you ask.
Unless you ask.
I wouldn't contribute,
Okay, I see what
you
you're
know what I'm
saying.
saying? If you
Hmm.
ask me, well, what about this or what about that and what made it different and how what was different? What was it about me? What was it about him? Blah blah
Hmm.
blah. Then
Hmm.
yes.
Okay.
But I'm not going to just contribute information without you asking because that's hurtful and that doesn't help the reconciliation process
Okay.
to me.
All right. So a memory is just a memory. If you don't choose that memory, which you know that will destroy your life, to stay a memory that is just a memory. Stay in the now and know that you're with someone that loves you. And if you have a heart attack with that person that loves you, that person is going to take you to the hospital immediately. That affair memory will leave you on the side of the road. Okay.
Because it's a secret.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I'm not going to say I disagree, but I don't know, man. I don't know that a memory is just a memory. I'm not saying that it can't be processed. And I think I'm digging the nail in just to see what people are going to say.
Hmm.
That's why I keep doing it. So just know I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm digging the nail in just to see what happens. I don't believe that a memory is just a memory. I do believe that there's a way to process it. And this show isn't really about giving advice, but I do believe that. Let's keep going with the comments. Let's see what happens. You can attempt to compartmentalize something, but the slightest thing, song, phrase, etc.,
Right.
pull that memory.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yep.
Katila, what do you do with that? Is the question. Because I agree with you. What do you do? We're in reconciliation now. We're killing this reconciliation thing, and the song that was always playing when Jim was taking her to the seventh heaven and twirling her like a baton was XYZ song. Now we in the car, an
Mm.
XYZ song is playing while I'm trying to talk to her about something important. And I realized she ain't paying no attention to me.
I think honestly you just really need to I can't I can't think of anything else other than um what is that verse in the Bible that says to take every thought captive,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know? So that in this instance, I think that is what needs to happen. You just take every thought
Okay.
captive And honestly, this may not be something you probably isn't something you can do in your own strength. Strength. Take every thought captive. The Lord sees what you're trying to do, and you just got to ask the Lord to help you
I will say it's not about giving advice, but it's definitely not. I don't believe you can just wake up in the morning and be like, I'm going to
in your
compartmentalize
own
this.
strength.
Yeah, I don't believe that. All
Mm.
right, let's catch up with these comments. Let's catch up because we'll keep it going. Yes, but it's not
If it's
fixed.
not
If it's
fixed,
not fixed,
they
they
will
will
think
think about
about
it
it
much
much
more. I
more.
agree with that. I agree with that. Donna said absolutely. I'm assuming absolutely that we should talk about it, Donna, because I think that's when I saw that comment pop up. But let me know if I'm wrong. You can attempt to associate something negative to that memory. Most people don't like to think or remember negative things. Okay. Okay. I don't
Yeah,
I don't
but
disagree. I don't disagree with that. But how many people put that amount of work into it?
yeah, agree. I don't.
Because if Jim is taking you to the seventh heaven, and I was consistently up until the affair taking you to the third, what literally negative can you attach to that?
Yeah.
I hated being in the seventh heaven. Like you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you, you didn't. So Katil, I'm with you. I'm with you. You've been to enough of these to know that this is how I am. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Camilla's here.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm
Hi,
gonna play devil.
Camilla. Camilla's here.
Camilla's here. All right, we gonna is she in the comments? All right, what's up? So here's the thing, right? Katila, I'm with you. Let's be clear. I'm with you. I just don't know how to do that, especially if you cannot, especially if you would be lying to do that. Because you would be lying. If Jim was taking you to the seventh heaven and I was only taking you to the third, you would be lying to say that you didn't like that. There's nothing negative you could attach to that.
Yeah. I mean, unless you say, I don't know, this seventh heaven, yes, it was great, but it's not right. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'm making it tough. I'm making it tough on
Yeah,
you.
you
I'm
are.
making it
Look
tough.
what Donna said. I've learned not to ask some questions. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Where are we? I'm trying to catch up.
Down,
So absolutely, we got Katila's.
down.
Hold on, I didn't get this one though. Oh, if Howard and I didn't put all that mess out there on the table,
Then it
then it
wouldn't
wouldn't be.
be a thing. It wouldn't be
And
working.
so that's what she was saying. Absolutely, too. That they had to talk about it. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm with you. And you've learned to not ask some questions.
I agree. I think that there's just some things when you're trying to reconcile that if you know it's going to be hurtful or has the potential to be hurtful, that's just something that you might not need to know.
Yeah, you're right. So Camilla, let me get you up to speed. Here's what we're talking about. Nisi had an affair.
If Nisi had an
It's
affair.
hypothetical. It's
Yeah.
hypothetical. Nisi had an affair. Jim was just he was doing his thing. Like
Knocking it out the park.
they having a great time. Swinging from the chandeliers. Like the memories are it's the seventh heaven, right? Up until the affair, I was only taking her to the third heaven. However, we are in full reconciliation mode now. I mean, we are knocking this reconciliation thing out the park. We're learning how to trust each other. We're building. The question is, what do you do with the memories?
Mm.
How do you manage the memories? And how do you manage them in a way that allows you to continue the reconciliation process, that doesn't hinder the reconciliation process?
Yeah.
And that's a conversation that I don't believe many of us have.
Right.
We
No.
talk about the reconciliation process. We talk about what needs to happen. We talk about the fact that trust needs to be rebuilt. We talk about the fact that boundaries need to be established. We talk about the fact that reassurances need to take place. But we don't talk about the fact that I liked what I did.
Hmm.
Now what?
Right.
So that's where we at, Camilla. That's what we're talking about. So just one question said, no, if you don't really know the information, then it will haunt you. You'll keep thinking why that person cheated. I agree with you.
Do you?
Yep, I do.
So you want to know everything?
Now, here's the flip side of that. Just one question. I don't want to know everything. Me personally, Oliver Marcel, I don't want to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to know everything.
I don't think I would either.
Now, the work that I would have to put in is that because I know it kind of would haunt me, and the flip side of that, which is ridiculous, is that I don't want to know it. That's where the work for me would come in because I do not want to know everything.
This is what this is why I say that I think that therapy would definitely need to be um taken advantage of in this situation.
Mhm.
There's no way. There's no way. I
It's a
don't
tough
think.
one.
Yeah.
Listen. We knew what we were bringing to the table tonight. We knew we were bringing a tough one to the table.
Yeah.
Better pray on that one because women
Women
hold
hold
on
on
to
to memories.
Camilla.
I knew Camilla was gonna say something good.
Camilla. And here's the thing, Camilla, because earlier in the conversation, we were talking about the ability to compartmentalize.
It's so true, Camilla. That is
That
so true.
I'm I believe that 100%,
I do too. Yep.
which makes it even harder to answer this question. That Jim has been taking you to consistently to the seventh
Why
heaven,
do I have
and
to be the
and
one that had
Oliver
the
is
affair?
taking you to the third heaven, and women hold on to memories, right? So now we're together in heaven one, heaven two, heaven three, and I'm pushing now. I can't get back. I'm trying to 3.4, 3.7. And she's like, this dude ain't even gonna get me there.
Stop it. Why do I have to be the one that had the affair?
Listen, I'm telling you, what do we do with the memories? Is the question. Right? Because now
My
I'm trying to
bad.
kill myself, getting to 7, and she like, man, this dude's engine is revving hot already, and we at 3.2. Like we ain't gonna never get there. Right? So what do we do?
Oh my
What do we do? What do we do? All right,
gosh.
Terrell said, well, in 2 more weeks I will be 60. So therefore I can't be
Twirl like
like
a
a
twirled like
twirl
a
like a baton.
baton anymore. So
Yeah.
that third heaven is fine with me. I know that's right. So my promiscuous is just a memory.
Ah,
It's
that is
just a
funny.
moment of excitement. Then you're off the roller coaster. Then you have to deal with reality. My reality, I choose love. Amen. It's so much better than a moment of excitement. I rather again, I say, choose a lifetime of love, which is excitement.
Hey, we with you, Terrell. But listen, let's be clear. It's 60. It's a lot of more stronger 60-year-olds out there now. So don't you know? I saw a dude that when we just watch something that like
Yeah, it
75 year
was
old
in
something
a
one like some big
race.
race or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't listen. You could run up on the wrong one. You might find yourself up in the air. All right. So where we at? We got connect
We
connect
are
with
unable
Candy.
to forget the memories. It's about trust and being honest with communicating with your partner.
I love the honesty in that. We are unable
Yeah.
to forget the
We are
memories.
unable to forget the memories. Yep. I agree. I agree.
We're unable to forget the memories. It's about trust and being honest with and communicate. So let me ask you this: connect with Candy.
I do, Camilla. I do need to put the logo on this fan.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, I'm
that's a good
jumping ahead
idea.
of the
So
comments.
connect with Candy. Let me ask you a question.
That's a great
For
idea.
you, what does trust and honesty with communicating look like in in the context of memories, right? So I'm gonna, just I'm joking when I say this, but I'm gonna keep using this example. Jim has been taking her to the seventh heaven in this affair. I, up until the affair, is consistently taking her to the third heaven. How does she communicate with me? What does trust and honesty look like in the way of her processing her memories with me, knowing that you are unable to forget them? How do you do that, Candy? Give me your thoughts on what you think that is, right? Yes, I'm gonna keep using that, Terrell. I'm gonna keep. um, can
A part reconnection is working on Oliver getting to 7. Can a part of reconnection?
yeah,
Yeah.
listen, maybe, and that's what I asked earlier, Camilla. I asked earlier, is should part of reconciliation be us actually figuring out how I can get her to the seventh heaven? Now that's gonna require some real serious, maybe tense conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna also require um, us to be really mature.
Real. That's a word. Maturity.
We have to be really mature because here's the thing: if that was if the quality of sex is part of an emotional need for you.
Yeah.
And I was not fulfilling
Fulfilling
it.
it. Yeah.
But yet we are choosing each other.
Hmm.
We got to have that conversation.
Definitely. 100%. I
We
agree.
got to.
I agree. I agree with that.
Because if not, I'm always going to be pushing the limits and I'm going to be sputtering at 3.4 and you're going to be dissatisfied, which is a open door for the memories.
Yes.
So it's one thing, right? There's a door right here to my right, right? I know what's out there in that room, but it can't get in here unless I open the door,
Mhm.
right? So do you forget the memories? I don't think you forget the memories, but do
No.
we have to process them in a way that they're held at bay? And
Right.
if I can't get to 7 and 7 is what you desire, we got to talk about it, which
Yeah.
means I'm going to have to know at some point, here's what was happening, here's
Mm.
why, here's where the void was, here's how you can fill it.
And that's what just one question said.
Okay, let me get oh, Camilla said you got to put the logo. Yeah, we're going to work on that. That's a good idea
Hmm.
actually. That's a good idea. Um I would say that you're making love and she's thinking about him.
You
You
need
need to
to
talk
talk
about that.
about that.
I agree.
Absolutely. 100%.
100%.
Yep.
100%. 100%. Sitting
Sitting
down
down
together,
together,
having
having enough
enough open
open
conversation.
conversation. It's about understanding each other's needs and wants.
Again, so that speaks to conversation,
Yep.
which means now I have to be mature enough.
Hmm.
I have to be open enough to receive what you were saying.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Again, this is
That's
I
hard,
this
man.
this is not about advice, but I will say this. You also have to be very careful how you convey the information.
Yes. Agree.
Because what I'm not going to sit in a counseling session and listen to is, oh man, he was just tearing it to Pete. No, 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 no. We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. That ain't going to happen. Not with Oliver Marcella thing. So I agree it has to be talked about, but then that conversation has to be managed properly
Yeah.
so that it's navigated. You can navigate it the right way. This convo can't happen if someone is still mad.
Yeah, but don't you think? I don't know.
This conversation got me sweating.
Don't you think though that well, maybe you get over being mad, but you don't get over being hurt. You can have a conversation while you're hurt, but maybe not mad because maybe there's levels or stages of um the
Hmm.
realization. So maybe so
Yeah,
because I'm thinking wouldn't the person who was cheated on always be mad?
I don't
But
know if they would
maybe
all.
not initially.
Yeah, I don't think they would always be mad. Now, here's why the conversation needs to be navigated properly is because the conversation can be triggering. So even if we're in reconciliation and we're
Hmm.
knee deep in it and I love what's happening with us,
Hmm.
but then the way you describe to me your need
Hmm.
is by recapping your experience.
Hmm.
Now I'm triggered. Now I'm feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
So now I am, in my feelings in one way or another. So I think that definitely has to be you got to talk about that. You got to talk
Hmm.
about that. Connect with Candy. Yes, I love this conversation. Thank you for being a part of it. We appreciate you. Thank
Yep.
you for your contribution to this conversation. That's dope. I think the memories come back when there's an
An
unmet
unmet need.
need. So
Yep.
having a plan to manage when it isn't at 10. Yeah, I agree with that. You do have to have a plan.
Yeah.
So part of that, again, we didn't come on here to give advice. I always say that in these nights, although we do give some sometimes. The reason why we brought this up is because we don't often hear that part of the reconciliation conversation. And we have seen where it comes back to bite the couple. That's the part we didn't say in the beginning. We have seen where it comes back to bite the couple,
Hmm.
where somebody says something or does something and the other person realizes, oh, like you wasn't doing that with me before, or you wasn't saying that, or whatever the
Mm.
case is. And now we have to work on that.
Maybe in that situation, maybe the since you keep using me as the scapegoat to have been the one that had the affair,
Mhm.
maybe for me, my reassurance actions needs to be on in overdrive. Like I have to maybe do a little bit more than someone who is just regularly trying to reassure
Yeah.
their spouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I could see that.
Maybe.
I could
I
see
don't
that.
know.
Lenore,
Hi,
Lenore's in the house,
Lenore.
and Lenore, which we can always count on, is taking it to another level. So
Absolutely.
let's get to the comments so we can get to Lenore. So,
I'm not
Donna said,
always mad. Donna said, I'm not always mad. And one thing I don't do is worry about another woman.
"Hey,
Hey, I know that's right.
that's what's up," and I think that's necessary. That's necessary. Lenore said, "I'm late to the party, but I honestly think that a cleansing
Cleansing
of
a
palate
palate is in
is in order.
order.
What if the person isn't capable of 7?
Mm. Mm.
So, Lenore, you're gonna really have to explain. And I know what you mean, but I need you to explain how do we cleanse our palate?
Well, she said right here, I think we can retrain our bodies and
Yeah, but
emotions.
how? How is the
How?
question?
How to
How do
retrain
we
our
do that?
bodies and
So,
emotions.
using our example, if I cannot get you to the seventh heaven, there's two things that have to happen. One, you have to figure out how to not remember.
That's impossible.
And two,
That's impossible.
so what do we do then?
I can't not remember. If I remember, I remember. That's where the retraining has to come in.
So what are you doing when you remember?
This is why I said I think that it's just something that I have, and maybe this is the retraining where I don't not don't acknowledge it, but don't I just don't give it any energy.
So let's make it tougher. We are in the midst of sexual activity,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize
That you're
that
not at
we are
7.
we are only gonna make it to 3.8, and all of a sudden you're like, man, you start thinking in the moment. What happens?
I keep going. I really think that this is not something that we can do in our own strength.
Mhm.
I think that this is like God, I want 7. I like 7. I can't get to 7 with my husband. You got to make me satisfied with 3.5. You got to make the 3.5 that I have, you got to turn that into a 7 for me.
Okay, and I'm with you. Let's be clear. I agree with you 100%. The question I have, I saw
Camilla.
what I'm about to put it up in a second. The question I have for you though is, from a practical standpoint, and hear me out, those of us who are people of faith, I'm not diminishing at all that God can do this. From a practical standpoint, what are you doing practically outside of praying for that? Is there something that the two of us are doing? Is it something that we're talking about, like connection with Candy said earlier? What are we doing?
Maybe we need to have a conversation. And
Mhm.
maybe in that conversation, I have to give you the reassurances of, you know, this is what I like.
Mhm.
This is this is what will get me to 7. And I want you to get me to 7 because I know that when it comes from you,
Mhm.
it's going to just be great. It's going to make me feel wowed and all of this.
Mhm.
Like in the midst of me telling you that I want 7,
Mhm.
I have to big you up.
Okay,
Make sense?
that makes sense. That
I
makes
don't
sense.
know.
Donna said, "My husband can't get me to the seventh heaven. I know how to help him, and he feels the same way."
Right.
Okay,
That's exactly what I'm
okay.
talking about. Yeah.
Camille, I saw you singing now. Now you got that in my head because I wasn't thinking about that at
What's
first.
what?
Camilla says she keeps singing the thing, the seventh heaven. Things heaven. Tish said, God
God
will
will
have to
have to
give
give
grace.
grace.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Just one question. All the conversation in the world won't help. It's all on the person who cheated to work out their memory. If you're good for 6 months and then things go bad, they are going to think about the affair.
I
That
think they're going to think about the affair regardless.
So so because I agree with this 1000%
Hmm.
is the part of why I asked that question to you. What from a practical standpoint, what are we doing?
Hmm.
Right? Are we, if I can't get you to 7, are we now talking about ways that I can supplement to get you to 7?
Hmm.
Because let's just say intercourse is not getting you to 7, but a
Hmm.
combination of some things will get you there,
Yeah, that would work.
right?
Yeah.
Which would then create new memories. Because
Right.
maybe Jim didn't have to use a combination of things,
Exactly.
right? But now, I'm twirling, I'm flipping, I'm plugging in, I'm buzzing, I'm doing all of this, right? I'm fruit and whipped cream and chocolate. I'm doing all of that. And now we at 8.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe, maybe. God must be the center of our marriage, without a doubt.
Hmm.
Donna, you already know how we feel about that. Like, we good with that 100%. Memories
Memories
fade.
fade. You can't make those illicit experiences your standard. I think time away with God, and like Denise said, no intimacy or stimulation. Then start over. Holding hands, then kissing, then whatever is after, but allow each new experience to create your new standard. I love it. Yep. My honey couldn't join tonight. Oh,
Oh
sorry to
man,
hear
praying
that.
praying for mom, man. Yeah, absolutely. Praying that all goes well with that. Yeah, so listen, we coming up on the hour. we we typically don't stay on here too much longer than an hour. But we
We
re-
have.
we have in the past, but we wanted to bring this conversation for a couple reasons. One, here's the thing. The whole point of these Saturday night conversations is to talk about things that we don't often hear talked about.
Hmm.
And the goal is to get other folks talking. What we've experienced in the for those who don't know who we are authors, speakers, and coaches in the relationship building space. And what we often see with the couples that we have the privilege to serve is that they are not taking the time to learn each other.
Mm.
They're not having conversations, and they don't have certain conversations until they have to.
Yeah.
Like, we don't talk about how to save the house until the roof is caving in.
Right.
We don't ever say, "Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's patch here. Let's make sure we're good so the roof never does cave in."
Right.
So that's really the goal of these conversations. The reason why we have them late night Saturday night is because they're typically around taboo. I don't really believe in that
Taboo
word, but
topics.
they're usually
You
around
don't?
taboo. No, I don't. Nothing's taboo. But and that's just me again. I'm not saying nothing's taboo like that should be a thing. That's just me. I feel like you should be able to talk about everything, right?
Okay.
But that's really the goal of this is to be in that space.
We're happy you caught us too, Camilla. You always
Yes,
bring the
man, this
fun
is
to the
awesome.
relationships.
That's what's up. Yes,
Oh,
glad you're
you
here
always
too.
bring the fun to the conversations.
Yeah. You always bring the fun to the conversations. Yes, indeed. So thank you for being here. Listen, we urge you to have engaging conversations. Listen, man, that's how we learn about
That's
each
how we
other.
learn.
That's how we gain some insight on some things, and that's how we maybe come up with strategy on how we're going to move through this thing called marriage. And I think that's important.
Amen.
So listen, we're gonna get out of here. Um, and we do this on purpose. We don't leave you with a consensus. Pick up the conversation in your circles, see what you come up with. We'd love to
Yeah.
hear what you have to say or what comes out of those conversations in your circle
Yeah.
about some of these topics. Uh, Camilla said to my relationship too. So that's what's up. Listen, we lately we have been Tish said she loved it. Lately
Oh,
we
thanks,
have
Tish.
been sharing this with folks. If you know any couples that are looking to communicate on an extraordinary level, that are looking to recognize, manage, and recover from conflict in record time, and that are looking to build a holistic, intimate bond that is so strong that it will undergird all the stages and phases of your life, we want you to send them our way because we are doing another cohort
It's coming up.
of the Make Love Better 6-week group coaching experience.
It's coming up in
It's coming
June.
up in June. So if you know any couples, there's only a few spots because we want to keep it small. If you know any couples who are interested in this, you can send them to our website. The website is denali.org/make love better. And we will have a great time. Last cohort was
Really
fantastic.
great.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you know anybody who's down for that, let us know. Terrell said, "Have a good night." You have a good night as
You too,
well.
Miss Terrell.
Listen, have a conversation. This marriage thing is sweet. As you can see, we're trying to have a good time with this thing, and we're having some great conversations, and we hope to bring those great conversations to you as well. Please enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Have a fantastic weekend and a phenomenal week.
Can you type your website in the chat?
Can we put the website? Yes. So
Definitely.
let me I don't know if it will go out to everybody. Let me put it up on the screen. I'll put it up on the screen for you. Um let me see. Can I add another banner real quick? Let's add another banner real quick. So make love better. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
So
Oh, you have too many banners.
I got too many banners up. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Let's put it on the screen real quick. There you go. There it is.
Yep.
So if you know anybody who wants to be a part of that, please go check it out. We would love to have you as a part of that experience. We've been having fun, man, and we've been watching couples have aha moments as it relates
Yeah.
to how they navigate this marital experience, man. And we're just, thankful to God that He's just allowing us to observe this, because that's all. We're just instruments, right? It ain't about how we do things and how good we are.
Amen.
It's about just being vessels to see
Yes.
some things happen, man. So we're
Yeah.
we're having a good time with that. So listen, we're gonna get out of here. We thank you all for being. You're welcome, Donna. We thank you all for being here again. Have a phenomenal rest of your Saturday
I saw
evening.
another comment somewhere. I thought I did.
Miss one.
I guess not. I thought I saw another comment somewhere. Never mind.
Yeah, so have a great week. If you're on YouTube, because there were some folk that are on YouTube, please make sure that before you get off that you subscribe
Subscribe.
and hit the bell
Hit the
on the YouTube
notification
channel.
bell.
Yeah, so you'll know when we're going live. We got another show that we're about to start soon called Inside the Relationship. About to do another season of that coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. Listen, we're going to get out of here and enjoy your Saturday night. We'll talk soon.
Bye, guys.
God bless.
Happy Saturday night.
Say it one more time.
Bye, guys. Happy Saturday night.